Bit of a disaster. Come with me. Oh, you haven't got the microphone on. I've been looking at disasters. Let me just clip that on. Yeah, I was driving along and we hit quite a big bump, and unfortunately it has blown a suspension pipe, so the suspension on this side has collapsed. We are down on the bump stops. They're very good bump stops, it must be said. That was not the ending I was aiming for. Flies. Oh, there goes a Toyota Camry with 2 rear wipers to make up for it, but yeah, gonna limp it back and try and do some conclusions at some point. But I guess that kind of proves the problem with these cars. They're not that hardy, or rather, yeah, that suspension does have its weak points. So we can drive along gently to get the car back home. In this video we're getting a bit of bonus action because we have to replace a broken displacer on an Austin Kimberley because it broke while I was driving, but it definitely wasn't my fault, officer. Honest. But while owner Kevin fixes the car that I've just broken, we can have a look at some of his other cars. Look, an Austin Princess has come all the way from the UK, one of 6 in Australia, and that's quite an unusual sight. They never sold the Princess here. They did assemble them and sell them in New Zealand, so I've seen a few over there, but very rare over here. Lots of dust because of bushfires and dust storms and all sorts, because Australia. And look at this Kimberley. This is the most amazing colour, and it more clearly shows the black rear light panel as well. So this is the one they use for going to driving events and stuff, hence the roof rack and the general look of slight shabbiness. It does need a wing on this side, but that is just an amazing colour. Absolutely love it. Oh yeah, this is a little more characterful, shall we say, in here. I like the throttle pedal that appears to be a block of rubber. That's interesting. The seats are rather more patinated, still super hot vinyl. CB radio, so that's a big old 10.4, but yeah, fantastic, and rather hot. Do not touch the vinyl. We are using the original jack, which seems to have quite a nice ratchet mechanism on it. See, in the UK we would never use a sill jack on any car, and that's asking for trouble. Oh, we've even got a cutaway of a displacer to show you what's going on inside. So you've got the rubber springing at the top, fluid reservoir at the bottom, and this isn't to scale. That's the link arm from the rear suspension arm acting on the displacer. And you've got a fluid link between front and rear, so as the front hits a bump, the rear will rise, and it all sort of levels out and stops it feeling quite so jiggly as you drive down the road, until you break one.
Spoke to Ian Kennedy about it.
Yeah, he said it's usually the hoses that go, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a pretty catastrophic failure on that one. It should look like that, actually not be sticking out at all. So yeah, I've done well there, but this is where it lives, in here, with the arm acting upon it via that push rod. So yeah, we can see hydrolastic fluid coming out. Do you make your own fluid?
Yeah, it's glycol.
Yep.
Radiator coolant with a little bit of residual from the car.
Because yeah, you don't want your hydrolastic pipes freezing up. No, but it's likely to freeze up all that much here, I guess.
No.
But
it's just that it's well, that's what the majority of the original stuff is. So
because yeah, we have more issues with cold in the UK. So now we have the spare displacer ready to fit, which I'm assured is easy, but I'm not going to film it because it might not be. So the new displacer has been fitted. The arm is bolted back to the body again, and Isogonis designed the Land Crab not to have subframes, so everything just bolts directly to the main structure. Pipes need reattaching, and then we can lower the car and then squeeze some fresh fluid in to replace what has been lost. It's the closest these cars get to being a Citroen, because you literally do have to pump them up.
Yeah.
Now you can see just how lopsided she is. But wheels back on, she's jacked back down, and now we can go about pumping her up. But yeah, this failure isn't something that happens in the UK apparently. It tends to be more of an issue here in hot climates. The rubber just degrades, and then one shock load, like a YouTuber driving over a bump, and all of a sudden it just rips apart. But fortunately they built very comfortable bump stops into these cars, so it wasn't actually too bad, even riding along on the bump stops. So here's where the suspension can be pumped up, and because it's linked front to rear, it should lift itself quite nicely. And the equipment being used is a slightly modified grease gun, which is busy squirting stuff everywhere, as they do. I have used one of these devices myself on an Allegro and a Metro, and can confirm they do work. So there's no excuse for driving along with a lowrider look in something that's got Hydrolastic or Hydrogas suspension. Well, Kevin starts pumping, the car should start lifting. Although he's not as powerful as an engine driven pump on a Citroen, so it might take it a little while. It's going up so slowly you can't really see, but it is definitely on the way up. And a nice easy job, as long as you don't mind a proper workout.
Yeah.
Now we're getting some gap, so we're getting there.
Take your fingers from underneath it.
Oh yeah, just in case it collapses. That wouldn't be good. We won't do that then.
But I don't think I'll be able to get it off too quick.
No. Yes, we do hope this new displacer doesn't go bang.
Because if it does, you might have to finish off with the other one.
Yeah. So I haven't recorded my outro yet on this very fine motor vehicle. So that will have been in a separate video. It's been about an hour and a half's of work, and it's definitely starting to look a lot more level. So aiming for a gap of about, what was it, 15 inches from here to there. But yeah, it's been a lot of pumping, and I've not helped at all. I've only done the vigorous rocking. All pumped up. Now the big problem here is you can't get these new anymore, so the only ones that exist are ones that have already been made long ago. And I'm pleased to report that the suspension now seems much better. So we've successfully cured the issue. I say we, Kevin has done all the work. We watched and provided helpful advice, drinks and tools occasionally, but yeah, she all seems good. Huzzah! So thank you for watching this little breakout video. Look forward to seeing you in a future video. Farewell. Kimberley. Turns out Australia has traffic jams as well, and utterly ridiculous limousines. That's a Chrysler 380 in front of it, sorry, Mitsubishi 380 in front of the enormous Chrysler ridiculous limo thing. The Mitsubishi 380 is an Australian built answer to Holden and Ford, but yeah, front wheel drive with a 3.8 litre V6, and apparently all the torque steer in the world.